Hey guys, welcome to the Cosmic Panel Yearly 2022 Awards, where we'll be discussing our favorite comics, our favorite covers, our favorite artists, and our favorite writers. We just thought this would be a great time to shout out some of our favorite work from 2022 and really give it the love it deserves. So, starting us off, we're going to go with our best one shot. Elias, what's your choice for the best one shot of 2022?
So my pick has to be Axe Avengers. This was an amazing look into Tony's psyche, and just a really amazing, introspective, incredibly well written. It put a new twist onto Tony's origins and struggles with his parents passing, and blamed it on the machine, being the car that they died in the crash. And I thought that was an incredible revelation, and just all around a beautifully written one shot. So yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, and seeing Tony finally be accepted and forgiven by the God which was taking the form of his father,
Hmm.
was legitimately heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Very good choice. I was very close to choosing it for my own, but one beat it out, and it was Tales of the Human Target. What starts off as three completely separate stories slowly builds up and crescendos into this twist where you learn that every single victim in the story was Chance,
Hmm.
the main character, the human target. And you learn this is how each member of the Justice League International met Chance. And it's very interesting because it's like, at first you don't understand how these stories are connected. You're not really understanding. You're like, why are they jumping back and forth so much? It's a little bit disorienting. You're a little bit confused. I was even getting a little bit annoyed.
Hmm.
And then there's a moment where it just clicks. And you're like, oh my God, that's why. And
Yeah.
then the ending where Ice is asking them what are their thoughts on Chance,
Hmm.
and you learn that it was Ice asking all this to verify who Chance is, that he's a good person. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, great issue. Love that it hints at what happened in the main story with Guy's death. Love that it showed off Fire and her willingness to basically always try to help people,
Hmm.
even when literally he's trying to die, quote unquote, to like
Right.
pretend to be the target,
Yeah.
basically. And
He's just trying to do his job.
literally, and she was just standing. She was just always with his body, and he literally couldn't leave or anything.
Yeah, he gave up.
And that panel where he crawls out of the grave, man,
Yeah.
so fucking crazy.
That's
Like
the
that.
moment you realize when his hand shoots out of the grave. You're like, oh,
Yeah, you see the ring, and that's really what gives it away. Is like,
yeah,
oh, that's Chance.
right.
But yeah, no, that was such a wild moment, and yeah, love that one shot. So our next category is best single issue. We thought we would basically give our favorite one issue of the year. What's your choice?
So my choice went to Iron Man number 19. This was an incredible Iron Man issue from Christopher Cantwell's run. Issue 19 features Korvac beating the living shit out of Tony, while Tony's just basically given up. He has no suit, no powers, nothing.
He's on
He
morphine
is
withdrawal.
he's on morphine withdrawal, and he's just relying on his words, and that's what you know really made the Cantwell run for me, is how Tony was written, and not as Iron Man, but as Tony, as a human being character. And this was an amazing showcase of that. So I had to go for the best single issue. I had to go with Iron Man number 19, and yeah, really incredible issue.
Yeah, amazing issue, and the ending of Korvac saving him and then committing suicide is tragic, honestly.
Really heavy, really heavy issue. Really well done.
So, for me, the best single issue has to go to Venom number 10. This is the issue where I think everything finally clicks. You finally learn who is the main villain,
Hmm.
and you learn it's Eddie. Eddie is his own worst nightmare. Meridius is Eddie. Bedlam is Eddie. Even the the other versions of the King of Black is all Eddie, and it's all from the perspective Finnegan. Finnegan, that's
Oh,
his name.
Finnegan, right?
So you finally learn that Finnegan is Eddie, and you basically get to see what happened in issue 2, I believe, from his perspective. And it's so different because it's literally the exact same dialogue, but everything has a different context.
Hmm.
Everything. And it makes reading the previous issues and the future issues completely different. Now you analyze everything in a different way. And it truly opens up the series. I think it really makes the series perfect in that regard, where you could read it a second time and be like, oh my God,
Word.
they
Yeah.
were referencing this the entire time. It's an amazing book and an amazing series, and I love that everything is inevitable. He's just stuck in this time loop, and it makes every issue that I read all the more interesting. And this one was really the one that clicked it for me.
So our next category is best new comic. Best new comic of 2022. Lucas, what was your pick?
My pick was Poison Ivy. I think this is an amazing book. This is a book that not only touches on Poison Ivy as a character, Pamela, but also on abuse, environmentalism, what is too far for helping the environment, and what is ecoterrorism, and really defining what makes Pamela tick. It's really interesting to see her struggle with wanting to kill humanity to let plants survive, while also falling in love with humanity slowly but surely.
Hmm. For me, my best new comic winner went to Duo Power Bomb. This is a series that has contained itself to 2022, so it felt right to give this win to them. This is a amazing Daniel Warren Johnson piece of work, and it has been spotless from start to end. It was only a 7-issue run, but because it was continued 22, it felt right to give this to best new comic winner.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing series that made me cry multiple times.
Yeah,
Next category is best ongoing comic. So a comic that is still being future issues still being published into 2023. What is your choice?
my pick for best ongoing comic went to Moon Knight. The only way I can see this book going is up. It has been arc after arc, really solid Moon Knight writing, really great character introductions, and really great villain introductions. So I definitely feel confident that this will continue to be an amazing ongoing book.
Yeah, no, it's easily one of the best Moon Knight runs I've ever read.
Hmm.
And I mean, I love Jed McKay as a writer. He's an amazing writer. And Alessandro Capuccio is one of the best new artists.
Definitely.
My pick for best ongoing is Immortal X-Men. Every issue, this series continues to prove that it is the best of the Krakoa age.
Mm.
The best book in the entirety of Krakoa. It is not only everything that you want from House and Power of X, the things that started Krakoa age, but it is also all the politics, all the character writing. Sinister is quirky and funny and manipulative and evil. Mystique is sly and stealthy and always on guard. Magneto is very burned out. Everyone has their own characteristics and they all show. And every story, even if you think it's really weird and strange, all connects and is building up to this idea of Sinister. Something is wrong with him. And I mean, I'm so excited for Sins of Sinister. Like I really think that's going to be amazing. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
Nice. So our next category, we have best completed series. This is either a series that is, started and ended this year, or a series that has just finished up this year. Lucas, what is your pick?
Mine is Do a Powerbomb. I mean, it could have either fit in best new comic or best completed series because it finished this year. 7 issues. It is a book that is as energetic as it is heartfelt. It is a beautiful story about a father and daughter learning to love themselves after a horrific accident, while also realizing that they don't need to hold on to their anger and they can channel it for something good. And it's very interesting to see how dynamic, not only dynamic is the art, but amazingly creative the fights are. Like from puppy punch panel to like Snake and Cobra striking poses as they're arm barring people. It is so kinetic and so visceral that you can't help but want to either cry or cheer for them. And that's why it's the best completed series, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yep.
So what about you? What's your best completed series?
My best completed series for 2022 has to go to Swamp Thing. This was an amazing DC book that Lucas recommended to me
Forced it down your throat.
And I checked it out, and season 2 was technically the only season that was released this year, but it did wrap up this year, so I had to go with Swamp Thing. This was an amazing book from start to finish for me. Really amazing commentary on the environment and the dangers of industrialism, but in a very kind of philosophical and ideological way. Literally, these ideas were growing power and warring with each other.
Ideas taking form.
Exactly. The art and the writing worked in tandem beautifully. And I definitely have to hand this one to Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it's an amazing series that every issue has something amazing to it. Okay, so for our next category, we have best first issue. And for me, I have to give it to Junkyard Joe. Junkyard Joe is a book that's relatively new, but for first issues, I have to say it is as perfect as you can get. Not only does it establish our main character and make you care about them, but it perfectly tells a wartime story in such a short amount of time, while also making you so committed to these characters. And it's amazing that Jeff Johns is able to do this as quickly as he does in only 40 pages. It's an amazing book. Junkyard Joe is an amazing character. And even though he doesn't say anything, you feel every single emotion through the pages.
Yeah.
The art and script work in tandem to really make the best story.
So for best first issue, I went with The Variants #1. Wanted to shout out this series. I thought it was really amazing. An amazing look at Jessica Jones that we haven't gotten in a long while. First issue introduces us to Jessica's struggles with wanting to get married to Luke, and how she didn't want to, embrace her quote unquote, girly side, wanted to just, be herself. This whole series really delves into her past traumas and how they affect her future. So definitely wanted to shout this out. So I gave best first issue to The Variants. So our next category is best event of 2022. While the winner is clear, I would like to note that there were a lot of events this year: Devil's Reign, Reckoning War, Dark Crisis, etc. But there was a clear winner for both Lucas and I. We went with Axe, Judgment Day. This was an amazing event.
Yeah.
One of the best from Marvel in a long while.
Yeah. Easily one of the best. The stakes actually felt real for once.
Hmm.
The character development was there. Every character felt fully fleshed out and fully written. No character did anything out of character.
Hmm.
Like Cap didn't suddenly hate any character, or Iron Man didn't suddenly do something that was completely out of his character. Everyone did what you would expect them to do if you've been following them for a while,
The
which is
editors were, on top of their shit.
exactly. And it not only propelled Krakoa and the X-Men arc, but also really gave a nice touch on the Eternals arc, which Kieran Gillian wrote a book previously for.
Hmm.
And while it is called Acts, and that means Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals, the Avengers kind of act more like mediators than actual opponents,
Hmm.
which is honestly great because let's be honest, we've had enough Avengers, enough Avengers centric events.
Hmm.
Let them take the backseat. Let the X-Men and the Eternals really deliver and really get at this philosophical idea that what is deviation and is mutation considered a deviation?
Right. Our next category is Best Writer of 2022. Lucas, what was your pick?
I mean, after a praise like that, I have to give it Kieran Gillian. Not only did he write Axe, but he also wrote my best ongoing comic, Immortal X-Men.
Hmm.
And he wrote the one shot, which is your favorite one shot of the year. So, I mean, after taking that many categories, it's kind of hard to deny that Kieran Gillian is one of the best writers right now.
Yeah, definitely. So for Best Writer of 2022, I got to give it to Al Ewing. Al continues to breathe new life into the Marvel Comics world, and there's never a dull moment with him. This year, we got some amazing Defenders runs, Venom, X-Men Red, and Ant-Man. All amazing ongoing or completed series. So always love some new Ewing stuff. So definitely have to give this category to Al.
Yeah, no, he's amazing, and all those series really, really stand out.
So for our next category, we have Best Artist of 2022. Lucas, what is your winner?
My winner is Daniel Warren Johnson. Few artists have as kinetic art as Daniel Warren Johnson, and going from Jurassic League to do a power bomb, he stands above the rest in being able to convey action in the best of ways while still being fully personable in every single way that he draws.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, all you have to do is just look at his art, and you can tell immediately that he puts a lot of love into every single panel.
Definitely.
And I mean, hey, he writes his book and draws it too. If that isn't a fucking if that isn't deserving of an award, I don't know what is.
Mm-hmm. Great pick. Great pick for sure.
What about you?
My Best Artist 2022 winner went to Alessandro Capuccio. He is not technically a Stormbreaker at Marvel, which is interesting to me. Stormbreaker
I was
is
also surprised by that.
yeah. So hopefully he will be next year. Maybe it's just he's too new to the scene, but or maybe he was last year.
No, he definitely wasn't last year.
But yeah, Alessandro, amazing work on the Moon Knight book this year. I hope he expands to other books. Got to give this to Alessandro. Really blew me away right off the bat. First reading and seeing his stuff. Alessandro is definitely fresh blood and definitely brings something important to the table at Marvel.
Yeah, his use of black and white, symbolism in his art, and the way he conveys action legitimately and fear. When you're afraid of fucking Moon Knight, you feel afraid. The way he conveys that is just so good. And yeah, no, it was a toss up between Daniel Warren Johnson and him for me.
So our next category is Best Main Cover. This was a very hard one for both of us.
Yeah,
Lucas,
that's an understatement.
Lucas, what was your pick?
So mine, I went back and forth, but I had to give it to Tales of a Human Target. That cover is not only a perfect homage to Bond, but it's just such a perfect. It tells you everything you need to know about the character without saying anything. The car to the explosion to the scope on the character's face. It tells you he's being targeted, he's going to be killed, but he's also ready and he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly Chance's character in a nutshell. It's beautifully drawn. It is amazing, like the actual like artwork for it and like the way it's structured. And I love that it's slightly tilted to really give you this off kilter feeling when you're seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, this is easily my favorite cover, and the cover artist is Greg Smallwood, who, if you don't know, is the main artist for the book. And yeah, just amazing work.
For my best main cover, I went with Swamp Thing number 12. This is the industrial horror cover featuring the Pale Walker, or Pilgrim Walker at this point, sitting in the foreground with Levi's Swamp Thing kind of being torn apart by the gears. This is a really eye-catching cover for me.
Symbolic.
Really symbolic. Really, again, informs you of the story that's going on inside. It's the green versus the gears. And yeah, I really love this cover. Mike Perkins, the interior artist on this as well. And really, makes you want to read the book, which I think is one of the huge criteria for covers is, does it make you want to pick that book up off the shelf and open it up?
For this next category, we have best single panel or page. What did you choose, Elias?
My pick for the best single panel or page went to a Suicide Squad Blaze number 2 panel. This is by Aaron Campbell. He did all the interiors on this book. I mean, I can't even begin to describe the interiors on this book. You really have to see it for yourselves to understand it. It seems to me that there's some watercolor painting going on, as well as ink work and pencil work. Aaron Campbell, really amazing. So this panel I picked here has the Entity hurling Superman, just beating the shit out of him. And it also has the love interest of our main protagonist in that bubble as well. So I feel like this page just really encapsulates the series. This series is about the romance angle, the drama angle, the interpersonal angle, but also about this huger scope, bigger than life threat that is tearing up the DC universe as we know it.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's frightening. It's frightening how dangerous this character is, and the art really conveys it.
Yeah. What was your best panel?
Mine has to be from Do a Powerbomb issue number 3. The moment that Steel does the somersault or the backflip to land on top of the chimpanzees, which is a wild fucking sentence. It's a wild fucking sentence to be like, yeah, when the girl did a backflip to then fucking slam on the chimpanzees, animal abuse style. It's like you're like, what the fuck?
Really giving it to the monkeys here.
But somehow this moment made me fucking cry in my living room. Because not only is it a beautiful moment where a father realizes that his daughter has that spark, but this moment where Steel realizes, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking beautiful. Oh my god, I'm fucking tearing up now. It's just so heartwarming, and it's such a perfect moment within the series.
Mm-hmm.
That really encapsulates not only how amazing Daniel Warren Johnson's art is, because you feel that moment. She's going through the air and about to slam, and you feel that moment really within your heart. But also, just the character writing up to that point has really led to this moment. And yeah, that has to be my best page.
Word. Very good choice. Very good choice.
Oh my god, I'm dead ass. I actually started tearing up, bro. God,
there's a lot of good choices for even 2-page spreads from the Do a Powerbomb series. So
yeah,
definitely a great choice there. All right, so this is one of the biggest awards for us
the
this
most
year.
well deserving comics once in a million years deserve this award from the Cosmic Panel.
It's the most prestigious award that we can give. These are the top 5 comic series of 2022. So the top 5 comic series of 2022. First up, we have Moon Knight by Jed MacKay and Alessandro Cappuccio. Other artists have subbed in as well, I should note, but definitely have to give that to the number 5 spot. So yeah, that's my number 5 spot. In my number 4 spot, I have Iron Man by Christopher Cantwell and Cafu. This book had a lot of different artists for different arcs, so I should also shout out Angel Unzueta, as well as Cafu. In my number 3 slot, I have The Swamp Thing by Ram V and Mike Perkins. In my number 2 spot, I have Human Target by Tom King and Greg Smallwood. And at number 1, the Dark Horse, I have Suicide Squad Blaze by Simon Spurrier and Aaron Campbell.
I'm surprised that took number 1, but I'm really happy it did.
That, as I was saying earlier, that book really instilled, true emotion in me. I felt the fear, and I felt the, heart-wrenching moments as well. So definitely got to give that the number 1 slot.
And talk about an ending.
Yeah. I'm hungry. I'm hungry is the final panel.
And it's both hilarious and fucking sinister as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a creepy note to end on. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for my top 5, starting off is Poison Ivy by G. Willow Wilson and Marcio Takara. An amazing series, truly in a great piece about environmental activism and the lengths that some people will go to. My next one is Spider-Punk by Cody Ziegler and Justin Mason. A wonderful series that was both kinetic, hilarious, and well-meaning with its messaging, which is very nice. After that was The Human Target, which is Tom King and Greg Smallwood. An amazing book about a murder mystery that goes horribly wrong in all the best ways. And then after that was Immortal X-Men by Kieran Gillian and Lucas Werneck. A truly amazing deep dive into the X-Men universe and our politics within. And then finally was Do a Powerbomb with Daniel Warren Johnson on both the art and the writing. Truly just a series that from start to finish lands every hit, every beat. And if you have not read this book yet, what the fuck are you doing? Because if you love comics, legitimately, you have to read this.
Everything that we've talked about here today is worth picking up, worth your time. So definitely, hit your local shop and give these books a read.
Yeah. Now, as a nice palate cleanser after these amazing pieces, we thought we'd talk about some of the worst comics. Truly, just shovel your mouth with shit after you got served a 5-course meal. And so, Elias, what is your worst comic of 2022?
So it was really a tie. I can't mention one without mentioning the other, but I have to give my worst comic to the Amazing Spider-Man Beyond arc, and I also have to shout out the truly awful Spaceship Hulk run that is going on right now.
Yeah.
Beyond was a waste of Spider-Man's character.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
um,
A waste
just
of Ben Riley's character,
a waste
too.
of Ben Riley's character. Literally, his limited series that he had running, shortly
better
thereafter
than his
was
main book.
way better than his main book. So just yeah,
Yeah,
a
just
goofy
an
ass,
awful.
whack ass series. And then also Spaceship Hulk. Got to give a shout out to that. I think it's really hard to follow up Immortal Hulk, but this is not the way to do it. And also, this is way too fast to do it. This was literally just a month after, probably a few weeks after Immortal Hulk had ended.
Wasn't it the week after? I thought it was the week after.
Like, it had to be a really short period. I
You
think
were already
it was,
promoting this before issue 50.
Yeah, which was annoying in itself. So yeah, Spaceship Hulk, just downright silly. Don't know where Donnie's going with this, but he's leaving now, so we won't find out, I guess.
Yeah, apparently he is done with the backlash and just quits. And now the artist is going to be also writing the book. So
Yeah, I guess that the fans won that one. I guess.
yeah. Well, I think no one won because we read it.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than the art, which is cool, the art is cool. The story just, especially after Immortal, is just. It's like being served stale 50-day-old bread after eating like an amazing meal. I don't know why I'm thinking about food so much. I'm making
hungry?
so many food now. I'm not. I'm actually not. I actually ate like 2 hours ago.
So yeah, those are my worst comic picks for 2022. Lucas, what were your choices?
So, bar none, it has to go to Dark Crisis Young Justice. This book is so dog shit that I legitimately, not only was I constantly sending panels to Elias just to annoy the fuck out of him, because I couldn't believe what I was reading, but every time I would read an issue, I would get a headache. This isn't even a joke. Legitimately, I would get a migraine because it would just not only was the continuity from page, not even page to page, panel to panel completely wrong, but the writing was such a spit to the face to Young Justice fans. The message, while well intentioned about toxic fan bases and etc. and toxic masculinity, was just handled as well as a bomb in the middle of Times Square. No one knew what the fuck to do with it, and definitely not Megan Fitzmartin. Megan didn't. It seemed like she didn't read any Young Justice books before.
Megan.
It seemed like she broadly skimmed just to get well endowed, which is a wacky character. It's funny to poke fun at her. Very funny. You could have easily made better commentary, but making it so that it seemed like Tim Drake, Impulse, and Superboy were misogynistic, toxic males that only focus about themselves is so out of character. And then trying to throw that Cassie Sansamark, one of the most independent characters in DC, Wonder Girl, is subservient to men and just likes to please them, is so sexist. And not only that, Sissy, who has one of the most emotional arcs in Young Justice, the OG Young Justice series, who she quits after she murders someone by accident, accidentally kills someone, now has been reduced to leaving because she didn't want to join the boys club, which is a fucking slap to the face. That the previous arc, it's a complete slap to the face. And that isn't even getting into the part about fucking Mixel-Pitalik fucking someone. This is now canon. Mixel-Pitalik,
the woman had sex with him and then decided to carry that baby. like for 9 months.
Mickey Mixelpidalic is a fucking character now, and I never wanted a character to be retconned out of existence so fast. Not only is he literally an incel, like that is his personality trait.
Oh, really? Jesus.
No, he's literally commentary on the fan base, like, oh, we like it the old way, and that's why he makes the perfect world and it's just sexist as fuck and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he's just not only is his for a fucking imp. Mixelpidalic, one of the most when you bring him in, you expect creativity. Whether it's being using his powers or the way he talks, or the way defeating him. None of that is shown. He could snap his fingers and kill all of them in an instant. The only reason he doesn't is because plot. Which obviously you could say for Mixelpidalic, but the thing is, he explains that he's a fan of Superman, that he's trying to better him, and while he says that here, I don't fucking buy it. Mm-hmm. I don't feel any of that. This man is fucking annoying. Every time he appears on the panel, I just want to punch his smug face, and not in the way that Megan Fitzmartin wants me to, I want to burn up this book and not read it anymore. So it's fucking annoying to me that he's constantly in here after issue 4. And not only that, but his powers are so fucking inconsistent. At one point, he makes Connor Kent disappear, become transparent or some shit. And for some reason, that stops his powers. But then he's able to hug someone. So explain that to me. The art... Let me get into the art also, because this is important. I was telling this to Elias, but it felt like the artist and the writer were in 2 separate jail cells, and they were tapping to each other with Morse code to try to make this comic. And Megan Fitzmartin was tapping like there was no tomorrow. And Laura Braga, which the art isn't bad, but when your art isn't matching with the plot, it's fucked. It's just fucked. Like, your art is good, but the plot makes, like, she draws Wonder Girl with heat vision at one point. One character Sissy gets turned into stone in one panel. The next panel is shooting bows and arrows at Mickey. Yeah. And then the panel after that is turned back into stone with nobody acknowledging it. Like, she was stone the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Connor says, "Oh no, my hands disappeared." And he looks at his hands, and his hands literally have not even a single effect on it. Not even a glowing effect, not even a transparent effect. No, his hands are just normal. He's just literally like this, just looking at his hands. That's what the art looks like. And how am I supposed to feel like this character's a threat when literally the art doesn't even... you might as well be saying, the sky's green, and literally showing that the sky is blue at the same time. Like, you are contradicting yourself at every turn, and it's fucking annoying.
I can't even imagine the creative process behind this book. I don't know what the editor was doing. I don't know what the artist was doing.
It's so frustrating because Young Justice is such a cool group. I love the show. I love the OG comics. And so when I heard this, I was excited. I was actually really excited. And every issue, it just got worse and worse. Mm-hmm. And there was no reason this needed to exist. It did not tie to Dark Crisis literally in any way. At the end of the book, they just randomly show up in the final battle. And everyone's like, "Where you guys been?" And they're like, "Long story." Haha.
Jesus.
That's it. Also, the way they defeat Mickey is, I shit you not, the power of friendship. Mm. Mm-hmm. Just fucking end me now.
And on that note, this has been the 2022 Cosmic Panel Awards. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Please comment down below what your favorite runs of this year were, who your favorite writers and artists were,
And what was your worst?
and what your worst pick was. And yeah, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and support your local comic shop and read comics.
To another year.
To another year.